Hello everybody, this is episode 102 of the Le Mans Odyssey, and today I'm just going to give a brief summary of how things are going, and then obviously comment on a massive game against the bitter rivals Marseille at their Stade Velodrome, the one ground I've never ever managed to win at, and of course if you saw episode 100 that includes the Champions League final. So in terms of my league position, I am on top, but Marseille, courtesy of 2 games last played, have a massive opportunity to open out a gap when the champions come to visit, and that's one I really cannot afford to lose. I always say that, but this one is definitely true because we've actually managed to only lose 2 games, whereas they've lost 3, and because we've drawn 4 games and they've only drawn once, they have a big chance to go 37 points and then break away into a 6-point lead with things going smoothly for them. In terms of the Champions League, I mentioned that in my sort of 200 subscriber celebration vlog, and that was a disappointment as we're eliminated by courtesy of drawing 3 games and only winning 2 of them, which was against Red Star Belgrade. So a massive disappointment as Barcelona and Galatasaray progress instead. There's not much we could have done better, but if we take a look at the fixtures, the one that went away from us was this Barcelona game by the 2-2 draw. We were only a minute away from snatching a win there, and we could have progressed at the expense of maybe Galatasaray had that result gone any better. But this one here, we should have won it as well because we were far more dominant, but they got a fluke goal in the first half. They got us on the break and made it 1-0, but Bernard Mohamed looked to have changed the tide of the game, but we couldn't get anything else past them, and therefore we didn't win enough games and were eliminated. We do get Europa League football instead, which is the reasonably important thing, so it would be nice to win some sort of continental silverware, but it's all over by the shouting for poor old Le Mans FC. In this round will be drawn in a week's time. The other results here are as follows. It's been a long while since this series last took place. It was probably around here, but you can see plenty of wins, but the only loss since we last met was against Bordeaux, got 1-0 away, and Auxerre also 1-0 away. This was a really dreadful performance from a team I had to give. I expected them to win because it was the first team, give or take 1 or 2 guys who were out injury, but we were beaten in the 87th minute and we deserved to lose. But plenty has gone on since, and we can check out the stats of some of the players for you now actually, before we head into a bit of a highlights package. I won't do a full live com because that's what the Chesterfield of Dreams is for, and we'll hopefully witness our first ever victory away to Marseille. That would be unreal. But here's a look at the league stats. The most goals belongs to Bernard Mohamed. He was a bit of a flop last year, but he's really gotten his inspiration from somewhere, and I can't be more happy for him because, as you can see, he only scored 5 goals all of last season, and with one more start than that year, he managed to score 12 goals, and indeed in his debut season here he only scored 5 goals, so it's a massive improvement. We're getting the maximum out of the Ghanaian, and I couldn't be happier. Shebe Shivers, the evergreen Belgian, has actually done well in recent weeks with a hat-trick against Lens, and then 1 goal against Paris Saint-Germain and 1 goal against Montpellier, so he hasn't had too much fortune in the Champions League, but he's still there and he's still plugging away. Rakto Jovicic, Omar Gomez, Mathieu Renard, Romao Arnaud, Brice Germain, Cyril Michaud, Stanislas Gordon, Jovanovic and Cormier all have 1 goal. In the assist category, Istvan Orban 6, Mercier 5, Magia, Nagorje 4, Eddie Carlos Siemiogo 3, Boldry, Michaud 2, and then the rest of the guys have 1. And then if we look at, I don't know, overall this season, yeah, that makes a bit of a difference. So Orban remains top, but in second place is Steve Mercier actually, that's great. And then in terms of the seasonal goals, Bernard Mohamed 18 already, that's amazing. Sherry Shivers 10, Gomez 7, and Jovicic 5. Player of the Match awards, Bernard Mohamed 4, Arnaud Shivers with 3. Most appearances, Brice Germain 18, Bernardo 18, as Nolan Lambert remains He got a brand new injury, so he's out for another long time. Orban, Eddie Carlos 17, Mohamed 15 starts, Gomez 15 starts, and Yamayogo 15, and Magia also 15. So average rating, Paris Germain 7.67. That is amazing for 11 games in the league and 18 overall. He's really blossoming into a phenomenal player. Brahim Mohamed 7.65, Tractor Bell, so he doesn't really matter. Chevy Shriver 7.46, Jose Eddie Carlos 7.44. That's really good, but his age is starting to make a difference to him, and hopefully he can keep going for a few more years. Omar Gomez has a 7.34 average rating. Jordan Lecomte 7.32. Du Shuang 7.31. Excellent stuff from the Chinese player. And then we look all the way down, and the most noteworthy player hasn't done very well. Is probably goodness, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who's doing badly. Probably Jean-Baptiste Vial. He hasn't had it too well this season. He's scored 1 goal in the cup, but none in the league so far. And then in terms of our injuries, Jovanovic is out for another 8 days to 2 weeks. Nolan Lambert, as I mentioned, he's out for 6 weeks and 2 months. Mathieu Chambon, who could have been the prodigy we've been crying out for since Fusieni Cisse retired, he has a torn hamstring, and his stats are going to suffer ever so slightly as a result, but he is still young, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But apart from that, that looks to be everything in order. It's pretty much the best team I can name. We won against Red Star Belgrade before we were duly eliminated in the tournament. But as you can see there, my record against Marseille is dreadful, and only because I can never seem to beat them at their Stade Velodrome does that record really stand out as a disaster. But here's a look at my starting lineup. Magia is coming back from injury, but I won't risk him today. So Willy Roku, actually no, I'll play Boldry. Is he okay? Yeah, he can play. I'd rather play Boldry today. Roku, I'll rest him. But he did well against Red Star Belgrade, but I'd rather give it to Boldry. He didn't really get to play very often. But apart from that, everyone else looks really fit, and we'll see how we get on in the match. And we're away. Marseille haven't had too many injury problems. They just have 2 backup players out, so it's a fully strengthened Marseille squad for the former champions today, and they're obviously a threat in all departments, but we need to keep them tight, keep them frustrated, and hope for the best. But already Alstrom has broken free, and he's going to shoot for Saucedo, their legendary striker, putting it over the bar inside 2 minutes. And notably they lost to Tottenham Hotspur in the Champions League, but had already progressed at that stage, so a bit of complacency set in, and that was a grave disappointment. But this is a dreadful game, but I won't mind a draw. Saucedo injured. That's a massive moment in this game. He is their best player, but we need to get a shot on goal, and I really would love to see a score. Micho on his right foot has forced a save from Perini, the always dependable Italian. That was a great save, but that was the only chance of this first half. To Mamam. Du Shuang better not go in. Oh, that's Jose de Carlos. Du Shuang did go in, and he very nearly paid the price, but he failed to make contact with the player, and he very nearly paid the price. He's giving it away. Oh, for goodness sake, it's Carlos Fierro. Du Shuang, what are you doing? We get a man sent off. That's game over without any shadow of a doubt. But Marseille are just so strong on the ball. You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. The substitution has probably counted now. No, it didn't. It actually failed to count, so... This is why I hate Marseille. It's just stupid. Every time. What a dreadful week it's turned out to be. No Champions League, and their title defence has been cracked quite comprehensively by the challengers Marseille, and I can't say they don't deserve it. But frustration has been the theme. Baudry, issue a warning. I'm going to be lenient, but whatever. It's another frustrating day, and that's why the series is starting to to grind my gears. It's just not going well. So we'll have to look forward to the Europa League, wherever that may be. But we do have a Coupe de la Ligue semi-final. That's good. But the Europa League will return for whatever opposition that'll be. But Chess Field of Dreams is the better series at the moment. That's for definite. But I will get my payback against Marseille one day. I have had payback against them before, but the one I really want is the win at the Stade Velodrome. We haven't come close yet again. And with that, I'm going to bid you adieu, and we'll speak again soon. Bye.